Tonight, one era will end and another will begin as Mike Tyson takes his WBC title in 26 knockouts into the ring against James Bonecrusher Smith with his WBA title and 14 knockouts. Each man quietly confident, each man hoping to win this fight as devastatingly as he won his title. Neither of those contests lasted very long.
That was a right to the body and an uppercut to the head, and Herbert is down. Witherspoon's still in trouble. Down he goes again, and now it's over.
Two champions meet head-on in Las Vegas. A spring-like night after a rainy day in Las Vegas. There's nothing quite like the intensity of a fight crowd as they count down to the opening bell. So rare that two champions climb into the same ring to clear up some of the political confusion which surrounds the sport of boxing. But one thing is certain, Mike Tyson and Bonecrusher Smith will clash in the middle of this ring with tremendous force, and one will walk away with two heavyweight championship belts. Well, Larry Merchant, let's talk a little bit about this fight. You know, people, as they're wont to do, will ask you and me and some of the writers here, what chance does Bonecrusher Smith have? And I've had people ask me, I always say, well, he's got a puncher's chance. What do you think?
Well, that's exactly it, because he doesn't have a lot of boxing skills. But it may even be more than just a usual puncher's chance. If Bonecrusher Smith were to fight a Muhammad Ali or a Larry Holmes in their primes, he might not hit them with their best punch in 100 rounds, or 100 years for that matter. But he's fighting a man tonight who comes directly at him, and that magnifies the power. The model everybody uses for this fight is that George Foreman-Joe Frazier fight I mentioned earlier, when Frazier, who was built like Tyson, came into Foreman, who was built like Smith, and Foreman lifted him off the ground and lifted his title at the same time. That is a real puncher's chance. But let's remember, he's a big, long shot. He's 7-1 underdog.
Well, the champion, Mike Tyson, really something of a paradox. He is a nice guy, a genuinely nice guy. In fact, so much so that you wonder how he could be in the brutal sport that he's in, let alone be the champion of it. He's a rare combination. Velvet studded audience in a boxing arena gives way to a junior high school student body. On this day, the lesson is not how to throw a right uppercut, but rather how to say no to drugs.
I love the championship. I love being rich. I love having beautiful girlfriends. I love everything, but I'll give it all away for my manhood. And I wouldn't belittle myself by putting a joint in my mouth or putting some white poison in my nose, because I love myself too much.
An orchestrated message by a champion. The FBI uses sports heroes to support their anti-drug campaign.
With a big meaning. Say it. Say no to drugs.
From the Drug Enforcement Administration FBI Sports Drug Awareness Program.
When Mike Tyson won the WBC title, with the belt came the responsibilities of a champion.
That was a right to the body and an uppercut to the head, and Burbick is down. It's over. That's all, and we have a new era in boxing.
You're supposed to set examples. You can't be the heavyweight champion of the world and use foul language. You can't drink, or some guys drink, you can't drink out in public. You know, you can't do any of these things around young kids. You can't, it shouldn't be tolerated.
His picture has adorned the covers of magazines for the past year. With it, every imaginable word to describe the awesome power of boxing's rising star. This month, a story in Life magazine by renowned author Joyce Carol Oates. She explains the Tyson phenomenon.
I think in the years to come, you have to deal with more complex issues of the self and the world and fame. He's discovering, as many people have discovered, how boring fame is.
My reputation is immortal. Being the youngest champion, that's immortal. But as far as a human being, I'm going to die. You know, eventually I'm going to die.
At the moment, he's just himself. I think that's one of the reasons that people find him so oddly charismatic, because he's not trying.
Are you able to date women while you're training or not?
Can I tell you something? I would like to date, but I don't have really time to date, you know.
Yeah.
Give any girl the attention that she deserves. But except Lisa Bonet, I would give her all the attention. I would make time to give her attention.
Yeah, well, that's very sweet.
They want to come over the table and get the autographs, and the kids are going to look up to you.
I love kids. I love when the kids come over.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
That's the best part of it. That makes everything worthwhile when the kids come up and everything.
Yeah. When you were a kid, you were a delinquent, right?
I was a sweet delinquent, though.
It's probably his boyish charm and deadpan honesty that lures people to this 20-year-old. In Joyce Carol Oates' words, quote, "The two men who are contending in this elevated, illuminated ring have a kind of poetic, almost dreamlike symbolic value attached to them."
I want to watch him fight. I want to see, you know, what the next thing it is that he's going to be doing, because I don't just see him as a boxer, I see him as somebody else with a little bit more sincerity and a little bit more feeling than just somebody who's going out there to kill somebody.
I have never witnessed the reaction from kids to my father, to adults, to social service people like the policemen. I mean, it's just like everyone, black, white, I mean, everyone. And it's really wonderful to see.
It's coming at the time that everyone's going to know me. And you know, I have to deal with it, and that's my responsibility. I worked so hard to get it. Now, when people stop putting the papers and stop asking for my autograph, then something's wrong. I don't consider it like a legend. People make me a great fighter. You know, I think I'm so far away from being a great fighter. Like, people, when they say great, they don't know, people don't know what great is. Anybody could keep winning and knocking out and winning is when you lose, how you handle it. Then it shows your personality. And it shows what kind of man you really are. Let me give you something to call me great. Let me give you a reason to call me great. And I mean, people call me great, you're the greatest thing, you'll be champ for 20 years. People don't know how your mind works. Suppose I decide I want to get married, I want to give up boxing. Suppose my only goal was just to win the title and just give up to be the youngest champion.
Well, tonight, probably the greatest collection of bees and wannabes that I've ever seen in a fight. The greats and the near greats on hand. And I think one of the reasons is they're here to see if this will be the time that Mike Tyson really does get tested. Tonight, it'll be by a man who seems to be his equal, at least in sheer strength. Both are champions, and as Tyson himself told us yesterday, champions can do whatever they say they can do. Larry Merchant comments.
Astronomers have recently discovered a rare supernova, an exploding star. Mike Tyson is boxing's supernova, a force of nature who has exploded on all of us. And yet there are still a few skeptics out there, many of whom are the heavyweights lining up to face him. They feel, or hope, that the fact that he has only one quality victim on his record, Trevor Berbick, means that they might have a chance. Well, one of the skeptics, of course, is Bonecrusher Smith. He sees his opponent tonight not so much as a supernova as a media star, just a little old media star, meaning he's been created by the media. We'll see about that. Bonecrusher Smith himself is a country boy with lethal fists and a piece of the heavyweight championship. The mere fact that he is here is astonishing because he started his professional fight career at the age of 28. By all rights, he should be one of those Babe Ruths who never got out of the coal mines, one of those Fawn Halls who were hidden behind computers and paper shredders. But here is Bonecrusher Smith, confident that he has the power, after 2 one-round knockouts, to explode a supernova Mike Tyson. The hurly-burly of city life, traditional breeding ground of prize fighters. The strong and the clever rule. The ambitious escape the streets. If there's a seedy fight gym nearby, a trainer with an eye for talent and a way of making anything seem possible, occasionally it happens. It rarely happens in the country, down on the farm. They grow every kind of athlete except fighters, it seems. It wasn't until long after he left the farm in Magnolia, North Carolina, that James Smith put on gloves. What he grew was a big, powerful body. Plowing fields, chopping wood, doing what had to be done to survive the hard country life. There were no seedy fight gyms nearby, probably not a boxing glove in the county.
And a field like this, this small field here, I guess it's a couple of acres out here, it would take us about 2 or 3 days to plow this field. It's a hot, tedious job, tough job. This is what's left of the okra field. They had the last cutting out of here probably October, and they'll start again about April and have okra again. And okra is very good. We used to eat a lot of okra and everything. Once the land dry out, they'll start preparing it for the next season. When I was growing up, this is where we kept several chickens, and it was 6 of us kids and our parents, and hey, the chickens would go in here and get out of the weather during the cold seasons, and over here is where they went up and laid the eggs, and we were glad. We eat the chickens, and also we ate the eggs also.
Smith, the oldest child, started his unlikely odyssey to the ring through education of all things. His parents, Jesse and Bertha, told him it was the way to better himself. He listened. If he didn't...
They would get out the switch, they'd go out and cut limbs and stuff and beat us. I mean, you know, they didn't spare the rod on us, and it helped out and it paid off in the end. And it's very important to stay on the kids and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I appreciate my parents for doing that for me, and I'm sure my brothers and sisters feel the same way.
He did well enough in school to go to Shaw University in Raleigh and graduate with a degree in business. He would become the first college grad to win a PhD as a heavyweight.
It's been very helpful to me, indirectly more than directly. I don't really work a 9-to-5 job, but I still get a chance to use it with reading and dealing with contracts and dealing with people and understanding where they're coming from, and it's a great feeling.
Smith didn't take a job on Wall Street, visit Madison Square Garden, and become a star. He joined the Army.
It was a quick decision. It was a very impulsive decision. And after I made that decision to go in, I kind of wondered if I made the right decision after completing college, going into the Army. But in looking back, it was a great experience. I was stationed in Germany, and I was over there for 15, 16 months, and just away from everything. I got a chance to grow up, really.
In Germany, Smith put on gloves and began busting people up. That's how he got the name Bonecrusher. He was 24 years old, still 4 years away from turning pro.
It takes aggression and hostility to be a good fighter. And that was one of my biggest problems in starting out. That was one of the things I had to overcome. And we did a few things to overcome that. And you have to be two different people. As a fighter, you have to go in there with that killer instinct and take the guy out, because he's going to do it to you if you don't do it to him. But after you come out of the ring, you have to be a gentleman. And I try to be a gentleman, and it's very important.
So, Bonecrusher Smith started professional boxing at 28, which is too old. He grew up on a farm in a small town, the wrong environment. He got a college degree and joined the Army. Considering the odds he's already beaten, is there any wonder he laughs at the odds against him tonight?
I look at myself as a guy that has opportunity and has been able to take advantage of opportunity, has faced adversity and been able to come out a winner and come out a champion. And I think that's going to be one of the main differences in this fight with Mike Tyson. He's never faced adversity. He's known that pretty much he's been the favorite going into all his fights, and he's never had to overcome odds, overcome anything, and just go in there and do the best he can. And he knew he was going to win the fight. And I think he's in a tough situation. I got a chance to be a superstar. Mike Tyson's a media star, and I love it.
Well, Bonecrusher Smith gets his chance to be a superstar against the man who is the youngest ever heavyweight champion. Mike Tyson very proud of the fact that he was only 20 years, 4 months, and 22 days old when he won the heavyweight title, beating Trevor Berbick. Floyd Patterson was 21 years and 10 months. So to date, Mike Tyson calls that his proudest moment. He's got more to come, you have an idea.
Let's remember that all those other fellas were the one and only champions, however.
Here are the shortest heavyweight title bouts. Jim Jeffries handled Jack Finnegan in 55 seconds, and a fight that we did here on HBO. Michael Dokes beating Mike Weaver in 1 minute and 3 seconds, and that graphic is up there, of course, because there's a great school of thought that says this fight is going to fall somewhere on that board. Fall may be the key word. Mike Tyson will be the first man in the ring, and that is not a thing that happens often, but remember, they're both champions. Speaking of champions, Larry.
Muhammad Ali looks good, looks animated tonight.
Here's another Las Vegas champion.
Other stars out tonight, yes.
Vanna White, never buy a vowel, words to live by. And here's Mike Tyson making his way toward the ring now. And that is a look, of course, that has struck fear in men's hearts. Tyson. 28 up, none down, 26 knockouts, 2 fights going.
All in 2 years, Barry. His first professional fight a year from last night.
This has been his longest layoff, 104 days, a totally insignificant number, I think. You know, all the stories of no robe, no socks. Says it makes him feel like a gladiator.
Sockless, but not punchless.
That's 5 knockouts in the first 30 to 50 seconds. And of course, as we said, a lot of people think this one is not going to go too far. You know,
the odds are 8 to 5, Barry, that the fight doesn't go past 4 rounds.
You know, one popular school of thought, Larry, is that you can't stand in front of Mike Tyson. You have to go side to side if you're going to have any chance at all against him. And of course, Bonecrusher Smith's history is to come straight ahead.
I would think that there's also a theory that if you're going to fight Bonecrusher Smith, you shouldn't go straight ahead. His advantage, obviously, is in his fast hands. And then the pressure he puts on opponents. There's been a lot of talk about pressure on a young man being a champion, being so prominent, but it's the pressure he puts on opponents that's crucial.
Marvis Fraser, of course, one of 3 common opponents. Results similar amongst the bottom 2 that you see, but Marvis Fraser knocked out by Mike Tyson in 1 round. Smith lost a controversial decision in 10 rounds to Marvis Fraser, but when we talked to Bonecrusher Smith, he said that fight really turned his career around. It gave him a lot of confidence, and most important, it made him mad. Kevin Rooney,
30-year-old trainer.
And here's Bonecrusher Smith now making his way toward the ring. Both popular fighters, incidentally. I don't think you'll hear a lot of boos here.
In exchange for the right to come second into the ring, Bonecrusher Smith gave the right to the Tyson people to name the gloves they want. And interestingly enough, Tyson's gloves are Everlast gloves instead of raised gloves because they feel raised gloves are the knockout gloves. There you see James Bonecrusher Smith's weights over in recent fights. He weighs 5 pounds more than he did when he stopped Witherspoon in the first round. He weighed 240 when he stopped Mike Weaver, another ex-champion, in the first round. He says he's lifted some weights since the Witherspoon fight to add strength to his shoulders because he wants to control Tyson from outside, he says.
And here comes Bonecrusher Smith now, being led by Emil Griffith, his handler, trainer.
Another point about those gloves, Barry, Jimmy Jacobs, the co-manager of Tyson, has been belittling the punching power of Smith all this time. But when it came down to the crunch, he decided he didn't want Smith to have the puncher's gloves. So that tells us what they really think. And then what to keep in mind here is nobody wants to fight a big slugger, not even other sluggers.
I think that's very true. As a matter of fact, he's a very intelligent guy and he's very eloquent, but when we talked to him about what he's going to do in this fight, he was very succinct. He said, I'm going to put some leather on his ass. Here's the tail of the tape, and Smith, of course, 13 years the senior of Mike Tyson. Otherwise, really not a lot to choose in these numbers. 14-pound.
The 11-inch reach is much discussed, but Tyson says when you go to fight a kid in the street, you don't ask how long his reach is. And here is punch stat again to give us a quantitative look at the number of punches Tyson and Smith throw in rounds. Roughly similar, but look how accurate Tyson is compared to Smith. Now here's a qualitative look at their punches. Tyson not only throws more hard punches, hooks and crosses, but lands significantly more of those punches. Again, attesting to his hand speed.
Here are the rules for this fight. 10-point must system. 3 judges score the fight. Almost the same as the rules we saw in the Biggs Bay fight, with one exception, and that is that the 3 knockdown rule in this fight will be in effect. Combined rules of the WBA and WBC. Let's now go to the ring announcer, Chuck Hall, for the pre-fight introductions. Chuck?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Las Vegas Hilton Sports Arena, where tonight the dynamic duo, in association with the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel, presents the Super Fight, sponsored by Miller Lite. This bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Dwayne Ford, Chairman, Harold Buck, the Executive Director, the Commissioners at ringside, Mr. Sammy Macias, Mr. Sig Rogic, and Mr. Herb Santos. The WBC representatives at ringside, the President of that body, Jose Suleiman, and the Representative Ray Clark. The WBA representatives at ringside, the President of that body, Gilberto Mendoza, and the Representative James Benz. The officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for the main event of the evening, the judges are Lou Tabbitt, Dalby Shirley, and Jojo Guerra. The timekeeper is Mike Lachella. Counting at the knockdowns, Mike Morabito. The attending physicians at ringside, Doctors Donald Romeo, Flip Homansky, and Elias Ghanem. And your referee is Mills Lane. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the unification of the WBC and the WBA heavyweight championships. Introducing, in the red corner, fighting out of Magnolia, North Carolina, weighing in at 233 pounds, with a professional record of 19 wins, 5 defeats, with 14 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the WBA heavyweight champion of the world, James Bonecrusher Smith. And in the blue corner, from Catskill, New York, weighing 219 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 28 wins, no defeats, 26 KOs. He is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
Kevin? Okay, now, Step back, one little bit. Okay, now, we've gone over all the instructions in the dressing room, and if it's for the title, any questions from Mr. Smith or his chief second? Any questions from Mr. Tyson or his chief second? All right, let's get it on, come on.
You never know what's going to happen when a man gets hit harder than he's ever been hit before, and it's possible for both fighters here. This fight has already gone longer than some people expected.
Harold, how do you see it so far? First round. Tyson right on Smith's chest. Strong left jab by Tyson.
All right, don't push your
The first right hand by Smith, nowhere near its mark.
It's also a straight right hand, and Smith will often come from right to left. Like that, left to right.
Step back clean. Step back, don't push, come on.
Tyson unloading on Smith. Punching right hand.
Come on.
If you notice a tactic Smith is using, that he raises his arms and is trying to make Tyson punch around his arms, which is a long way to go for a much shorter man. So look for Tyson to try to come straight up the middle with an uppercut.
Three-punch combination, two of them landed heavily.
Step back, don't hold on. Come on, step back.
Although he's very aggressive, Tyson prides himself on also being a good defensive fighter. He hasn't been hit solidly very often.
Step back, hold it on. You can't hold it on. Come on, man, box, come on. Step back, Mike, step back. Step back.
Tyson does have to lunge up at him a little.
Right. This hasn't turned into the train wreck everybody was looking for yet.
Smith is being very patient, actually.
I've never seen anything quite like that in the ring before.
Listen, you have to finish with that left hook. You understand? You only throw one punch at a time. I want you to use your jab more. Every time I throw it, you'll be long. Jab, jab, hook to your left, throw the hook to the body. You understand? Right hand, left hook. Always finish with a left hook to the head. And make it miss there on the shoulder.
Oh, meditate. Come on. Out on the shoulder. Crush your gun with some fucking fight crush. Don't close your eyes. Look at him and punch.
Deep breath.
Use the jab first, Crush. You hear me?
Step with it.
Take a look at what happened. The round is over a good 5 seconds. They've exchanged some words, and Tyson lost his cool. That's the first time I've ever seen him lose his cool before, during, or after a fight.
Very true. You know, another thing, too, in Smith's corner, you heard Smith say, let me have the towel down on my shoulders. And I don't know if you feel it, Larry, but there's all of a sudden a cool breeze coming through here. And a cut over the right eye of Bonecrusher Smith. We'll try to tell you how serious.
From. That's the same eye that Larry Holmes opened up. but I can't see as yet where it is.
Now, I said the right eye. It's the left eye of Bonecrusher Smith.
Step back. Step back.
A lot of blood, but the blood right at the moment does not appear to be going into the eye, but rather alongside it, very similar to that of Tyrell Biggs.
Tyson is unable to get off those Gatling gun combinations because Smith is just thwarting him and staying away and laying on him, using his big long arms.
And Mills Lane has deducted a point from Bonecrusher Smith for holding Mike Tyson.
Smith got in a good right hand. Tyson walked right through it.
And that's significant.
The blood is leaking into the eye right now.
Yeah, it is, and I was going to say one of the differences between this cut and the cut on Tyrell Biggs is that Tyrell Biggs was fighting David Bay and not Mike Tyson.
This is becoming a hitting and holding contest, not very appealing or dramatic.
And you hear the crowd start to boo. It's the first time I've ever heard a crowd boo at a Mike Tyson fight.
Got into Mike Tyson.
Give me that towel. You've got to move your hands.
That's it, Jimmy.
Not bad. You've got to move your hands, Crusher. Not bad. Crusher, got to move your hands. Throw the right hands, Crusher.
You dropped it out.
Holy shit.
Let's see if we can catch the butt that apparently caused this punch. Right there. Right there. There you see the blood starting to trickle already down the left eye.
1-2. 1-2, Crusher. 1-2. 1-2, Crusher.
In the corner. Oh, here we go.
Tyson has made Smith look very, very awkward. Just a big lunging fellow now against the speed of Tyson, who is a difficult target because of his size in any event.
Come on.
And that was indicated in the punch stat numbers that you saw a moment ago. Only 23% effectiveness for Bonecrusher Smith.
Step back. Step back.
It may be that Tyson is frustrated because he's been unable to land real combinations the way he does in the gyms and on most opponents. Smith is just fighting a defensive fight, and Tyson can't do anything. There you saw him coming around the arm once again, unable to get any leverage into his punches.
Tyson hit him a very good right hook a moment ago, and that really opened the cut up a little bit more. And there's no question but that the cut is bothering Smith because the blood is getting in the eye.
fighter puts as much pressure on an opponent as Tyson does, his opponent often just becomes defensive. And Smith has done a lot of that.
Smith got another straight right hand in, but it's only one punch and having no effect whatsoever on Tyson. Smith, Larry, appears just to be trying to tee off and catch Tyson on the way in.
That's his puncher's chance. Right now, it doesn't look like much of a chance.
Come on, you guys.
Tyson seems to be headhunting as well. He should be working on the body. He's having a hard time getting all the way up to his head. He has to bring down his guard.
And he usually is a devastating body puncher. He seems to be fighting a more emotional fight than I've seen him fight.
Let's see him.
Not bad.
Okay. Much deeper. We didn't think we'd need you, Harold.
Well,
How do you see it?
Larry, I've got Mike Tyson ahead by 4 points. He's doing all the fighting, and Bonecrusher Smith, his strategy seems to be hold on, survive the first few rounds, and maybe get him later on.
Crusher, got to move your hands. You're doing good, but you're not doing good enough. Move your jab first. Jab it first, then cross.
Turn on a little bit. You're in great shape. Turn on, get inside, fight this guy. Fight this guy. You're doing a little bit of spot. Use your jab more. If you want to rest, use your jab. Just snap that 7 out. Relax your thing. Punch when you get it.
Now both corners telling their charge to use the jab more, and in Tyson's corner telling him to fight more. Emil Griffith, you heard him say jab, then cross. Cut right at the moment has not opened up again, and it's actually not directly above the eye. It's more up on the forehead, but enough so that the blood does flow into the eye.
Hold him hit. Come on, hit. Come on.
Blood now from the cut. And now Bonecrusher Smith going backwards.
We thought neither one of these fellas had a reverse gear, but Bonecrusher has just showed us his.
Watch the head. Watch the head coming in. Come on, come on, come on.
There was a big right hand by Tyson.
Smith has reduced Tyson to having to hunt for him with one shot rather than combinations.
Step back. Come on. Step back.
Bonecrusher may be trying to take a little bit of a blow here in this round.
There's no way to train to fight like fighting a guy like Tyson with the pressure that he puts on you by keep coming at you. It's like a quarterback going against a Chicago Bear blitz. All of a sudden, everything is speeded up, and if you don't have the quickness of mind and hand to deal with that speeded up, suddenly you look like a rank amateur, which Smith looks like here.
And as you said, he's just walking through anything that Smith offers on the way in. There's no resistance at all. dance continues here.
Doing enough. You're not using your jab enough.
I gotta get my foot together, man.
Listen.
I'll be all right.
Listen.
Let me get my foot together.
All right.
I'll be all right.
Oh, give me. But listen, you gotta knock him out to do it.
Oh, okay.
Don't wait.
Stay away from the guy. He's only looking for one shot on you. You gotta keep your defense tight. You gotta be even more aware now. You understand? You can't get lazy. You can't get careless. Spit it out. Yeah.
Well, we want to remind you of an upcoming show here on HBO, The Road to the Super Fight. That, of course, the fight between Marvelous Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard. Tuesday, March 10th at 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. We'll take an in-depth look at the Hagler-Leonard fight, have some exclusive interviews, training camp visits, and footage of past fights.
Come on, second shot. In the corner, please. In the corner. In the corner. There we go.
You heard Bonecrusher Smith say, let me just get myself together here. Now we'll see if he can. You're getting a good example right here of how Mike Tyson just does not allow Smith to get his punches off.
And that Mike Tyson is very quick. He sees these punches coming. They're not quick punches, and he's able to duck them very easily.
Smith saying to Tyson, come on, come on, come on, but
Step back clean. Both of you.
that is merely words.
Smith appears totally confused and frustrated. That walkabout and this one right here, I have no idea what it's supposed to do.
All right, one step back. One punch in. One step back. Both of you. One step back, boys. One step back. Hey, boy. Step back, clean.
Unless Smith figures out something fast, his heavyweight reign will last 85 days, and that will be it.
And it doesn't appear really that Smith has a clue right at the moment how to solve this puzzle. There is another big right hand by Tyson. That's the first one that really backed Smith up. Not really what we expected, Larry.
Smith right now is fighting basically a fight for survival, throwing a few hard punches in the hopes of connecting and making something happen.
Double right hand that time by Tyson.
And he appears to be getting tired as well.
Step clean. Clean ball.
This guy hasn't won a round, but the rounds right now here are going to be a little stinky, understand? But this guy ain't doing nothing. You're just letting him tie you up. I want you to use your 8 more like you just did there in the end. Right there in the end, you use it. Give him the 8.
Come on. We got him, Crusher. It's not balancing.
This thing quits.
Move your hands. Move your hands. You hear me? Box him and move your hands. Move your hands to combination. Combo. Move.
Use 8. Straight right hand or left hook to the body. Then with the slip like that and hook to the head. Understand?
In the corner, Mr. Smith. In the corner, James, please. In the corner. Here we go.
Well, you saw those punch stat numbers. Bonecrusher Smith has landed 16 punches in this fight. 3 a round is not going to get it done. And a man in a black trunks is the reason for it.
Every great fighter has had fights in which an awkward opponent has made them look something less than great. I'm not saying Mike Tyson is a great fighter yet. He's a great young fighter. But he's just against an opponent here who's in there to survive and hold as he is now.
Step back.
And I must say, Bonecrusher Smith is the one fighter I did not think would fight that way. Exchange there. One punch on both parts, though.
All right, one step back, Jim. One step back, Mike. One step back. Out of it. Attaboy.
Bonecrusher just kind of taunting Mike Tyson, and I'm not sure why.
Tyson doesn't want to get down on his chest and be held, so he's staying outside now, but with his short arms, he can't punch from outside.
I don't know, it might just be frustration on the part of Bonecrusher Smith. He hasn't been able to hit him the conventional way.
One real good jab right there. You're not punching when you come inside. You're not using your jab. You're winning easy. You want to win easier? Use your jab. Just concentrate on your jab. When you do that,
Harold Letterman.
Well, Larry, it's very one-sided. Mike Tyson, I've got him ahead 6-0. I've got him ahead by 8 points. Bonecrusher Smith started to open up in a little bit in the 5th round, but certainly he didn't do enough to win a round yet.
Yo, Blake, come here. You're scratching my face. You scratching me.
move your hands. Come on. Same jab. You bend on stage and punch. Even if one punch, throw one punch. You're winning easy. To make it exciting.
Well, perhaps the most punishment inflicted in this fight so far by Mills Lane. You heard Bonecrusher Smith yell at him, say, "You're scratching me when you break us." There's the left hand. And now Tyson moves in.
All right, we step back, Smith. We step back. We step back, Joe.
$750 ringside for this.
Pretty hard to believe. Could have gone to see Wayne Newton.
Step back, have to go. Whoa. Get off that neck. Hey, go. Hey, ho. Jim, get off that neck. Come on. Get off. Hey, get off the neck. Come on. Here we go.
Earlier, Barry, I mentioned how other heavyweights didn't think as much of Tyson, with the apparent exception of Michael Spinks, who's given up his title so he doesn't have to fight him.
Get off that neck. Get off that neck.
Right now, he's making those heavyweights a little braver.
Come on, Mike. Back one step back, both of you. Here we go.
A lopsided and basically uninteresting fight.
The only interesting thing here is to watch Tyson and how he tries to deal with this. And I don't think he's dealing with it right. I mean, it's a frustrating fight. It's a hard fight. Smith just isn't there to be punched. But Tyson doesn't seem to be going about it professionally to try to break him down in some way. Punching to the body, perhaps.
I don't know if you heard Tyson say when he went back to his corner after the last round, he said he doesn't want to fight. There was a body shot. That was not a punch. That was not a punch.
Tyson got off the floor and looked at Smith with disdain, as if to say, are you kidding me? You think that's a punch? Smith's eye springs open again. Smith landed two decent left hands.
And he took one right there.
Well, Smith got man enough to fight back at the end of that round. There you see Tyson falling off balance. A little embarrassed. Does a 360.
Give me that stuff.
Up the middle, Crusher! Up the middle! Uppercut, right hand! Up the middle! Uppercut! Up the middle, Crusher!
7-7, moving in, staying, and get inside, get your hand free and bang. You know what's happening now? The bad happened to Jimmy. Put your arms around his back. You got a contact zone. You got to break it right now. You're winning easy.
Emil Griffith instructed Smith to try to throw some uppercuts as Tyson comes in on him.
Get off that neck. Come on, go on. Get off the neck, Tim. You know better than that. Come on, get off the neck.
Strikes me as just that Tyson is just there so quickly that you just can't get set to punch.
All right, Mike, watch the head. Watch the head. Watch the head.
I don't recall Tyson throwing any uppercuts in this fight. It appears to me that what Smith has been instructed to do is to hold his arms up once again so that Smith's roundhouse punches can't get to his head. And I think that he's got to go to the body and come up with some uppercuts in order to hurt Smith and land something solid.
All right, come on, one step back. Step back, come on, Smith. You're trying to come on.
I have a question, Barry. You think Tyson looks impressive enough to fight Tyrell Biggs in his next fight?
Step back. Get him, Jim. Doesn't happen. You know, keep holding. Come on.
Relatively, it makes Tyrell Biggs' performance look a little better, though.
Step back, Mike.
Tyson had a pretty good left hand there.
Step back. Here we go. All right, step back, Cole. Just hold. Punch it. Hold it. Get hit. Come on.
There was a straight left hand by Tyson. Tyson just unable to really throw too many combinations in this fight.
Time. Go here. One more. 1 point here.
Another point being deducted for holding. Second time.
Rose Lane is trying to get them to fight.
Let's take a look at some results from elsewhere today. Thomas Hearns defeated Dennis Andres. Technical knockout at 134, the 10th round. That for the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship. And earlier here, Edwin Rosario, very impressive in defeating Roger Brown. One punch knockout, big right hand, 134, the second round. Rosario, the champion. Azuma Nelson held on to his WBC featherweight title with a victory over Mauro Gutierrez. That knockout coming at 33 seconds of the 6th round.
Short uppercuts. Short uppercuts and left execution. Wait, Cameron, wait, let go. Okay?
Just a jab, flipping and hitting, bobbing the way to come to slip and hit. A lot of jab. You're winning easy. Keep it up. You look good.
There we go.
Well, Kevin Rooney with a great understatement. You're winning easy. Tyson's actually winning easier than easy.
The only way he could win easier is on a forfeit.
There was a combination by Tyson. Smith seems to have reached the bottom of the tank here.
All right, step back, step back, Gene. Let's step back. Come on, clean, both of it. Come on, here we go.
That uppercut by Smith was just a little short.
Let's step back. Mike, let's step back, Green. Come on, let's go. Let's step back. Here we go.
This is a sort of test of Tyson's concentration in a way. He's winning so easily that he doesn't want to make a very bad mistake and just get nailed.
And I'm sure tucked somewhere in the back of Mike Tyson's head is the Smith-Bruno fight, when Bruno came out of nowhere after losing the fight very similarly to this one to knock out Frank Bruno. Admittedly, Bruno is not Mike Tyson.
All right, get one step, one step. Guys locked in. Everyone, one step back. Here we go. All right, one step back, both of you. Come on, get out of it. One step back. Clean. Had the boy hook.
There was a right hand. Big right hand.
Come on, step back. Come on, one step. Come on. Okay, one step, hold on. Step back. Come on, one step back. Come on.
Tyson has been headhunting throughout this fight, and I don't recall him getting any instructions from his corner to stop it either.
No, in fact, the only instructions were jab, jab, jab.
Ice. Give me the ice. You're still not throwing enough 7, but that was a better round. How you feel? Great. You feel okay? All right, then we want to put some pressure on this guy. He's just trying to control himself.
Cut this tape off here.
And then he's going to try to...
Tell Mills that the guy's holding, okay?
That's all coming up, huh? You cannot. This guy is stealing the fight from you.
I'm missing with my right hand, bro.
Well, don't forget the right hand. Come back. Try under, come back. Don't throw one punch, right hand alone. Come back with your left hook.
And we'll remind you of another show coming your way on HBO. Interesting show, in fact. Greatest Sports Upsets, hosted by Tim McCarver, produced by Ross Greenberg, and premieres Sunday, April 5th.
I don't think we're going to have to add some footage from this fight to that show.
No, I don't think so. And if we do, it would be.
Come on now, you guys. Let's do it. Box. Come on.
We wonder what they're going to take out of this for the highlights.
All right, one step back. Quit punching, Mike. Quit punching. One step back, Smitty. One step back. Don't cut.
It's not Mike Tyson's fault. It takes 2 to fight.
Smith is so frustrated by Tyson, and was early on, that he just kind of said to hell with him.
He's been wearing a big cowboy hat around here all week, and right now I'd have to say he's all hat and no cattle.
Come on, step back. Come on. Step back.
Cut has opened up again over the eye of Bonecrusher Smith.
I imagine Larry Holmes is sitting there in eastern Pennsylvania and thinking, well, if they come up with the money, I just might take a shot at this.
Yeah, that's the thing. A fight like this brings them all out of the woodwork.
George Foreman is starting his comeback on Monday.
Get back, come on.
Point out that Bonecrusher Smith has only been down once in his career, and that was in his first fight.
In his defense, Bonecrusher is apparently trying his best. Best just isn't good enough.
This guy just wants to go the distance, but my friend, you're letting him do it. You're letting him do it by not putting a fluid pressure on him. Behind the jab, you only do it in spots. This is the 11th round coming up.
I feel great.
Maybe his game plan, well, he thinks you're going to get tired, maybe. You just show him that you ain't going to get tired. You understand? Spit it out.
This Crusher got 2 rounds to go. 2 rounds to go, Crusher. Do what you got to do. Do it good. You could do it, Crusher.
Oh, right hand. We're coming on top.
Forget the right hand. Throw left hook to the body. Forget the right hand. You're going right hand crazy. You can't nothing to right.
Left hook to the body.
Left hook to the body. And right hand on top. Forget the right hand.
And use your jab and then
jab.
Get a momentum, this motherfucker. He's sticking the joint out.
until he goes.
Land the big punch.
Round 11. Thought I heard Kevin Rooney say that this is your last round to Mike Tyson.
Step back, come on, Mike. Step back. Come on, Smitty, come on.
But there are in fact 2 to go.
Step head, come on. Step back, come on. One step back, both of you. Come on, Smitty. Any more hit. All right, come on.
One thing I can tell you, Bonecrusher Smith tomorrow morning is going to feel like his face was hit with a bag of rocks.
Mike Tyson is a prideful athlete, and he really wants to look better. If he doesn't, it's just not there. Some days, an outstanding athlete or an outstanding team just doesn't have the opponent opposite that can make him do his stuff.
And that's certainly been the case tonight. I think the biggest thing is that we didn't expect it to be that way.
Yep.
Step back, step back, here we go.
A body shot by Mike Tyson, one of the few he's thrown.
He should have had about 50 more by now.
Come on, Mike. Come on, Boone. Oh, here we go.
That's a big difference between Tyson and Joe Frazier. Tyson has been compared to Frazier for obvious reasons. Joe Frazier was a murderous body puncher. He didn't care who he was in there with. He killed the body first, and the head will go.
Give me the water. Come here, open up. There you go, man. You got a big round in you? Get on this guy, smart. Get on this guy, smart. We got you. Get on this guy, smart. This guy's gonna come out his own trust on.
Hey, stay still. Don't move.
Keep still.
Whatever you got left, don't worry. Okay? Because you got enough to beat this guy.
You okay?
Right hand. Get close. Use a little speed. Close the show. This guy's sticking the joint out. Sticking the joint out.
Larry, I've got Tyson ahead by 14 points. I mean, 15 points. It's just no contest.
If this was a football game, the score would be 35-0. A baseball game, 15-0. And yet it's dissatisfying because prize fighting is drama and theater. And when you have a great athlete and you want to see him perform and tested, and he's not performing and he's not being tested.
All right, one step out. Last good round, you guys. Come on, one step back. Yeah, here we go. All right, one step back. Come on, one step back clean. Both of them. Come on, one step back. Here we go.
What we're going to start reading about and hearing about Tyson now is, come on, fellas, he's not as good as Ali, he's not as good as Frazier. And in truth, he's not as good as they are. He hasn't had the record to show it yet.
I think
but,
by
it's
his
been
own
said, but it's been said about every champion.
And it's been said about Mike Tyson by Mike Tyson also. He has said he's not great yet.
Joe Louis wasn't as good as Dempsey, and Ali wasn't as good as Louis.
Speaking of theater.
Well, we needed something. I didn't know that it would be comic relief coming from either of these kind of serious fellows.
Well, 1:15 to go in this one. Assuming we've kept you awake.
Tyson is trying everything he can to try to get in one good punch. They are being booed, and I imagine even Tyson is the target of some of them, but Smith should be the target.
On a theme of a barnyard cheer.
Well, they are yelling Tyson, Tyson. They want him to end this dramatically as well if he can.
That was a right hand by Smith. That actually backed Tyson up.
That was the best punch of the fight. We thought we would see that in the first 10 seconds, not in the last 10 seconds.
And it is over.
It was too late, was too little for Bonecrusher Smith. Where was that an hour ago?
And I'm sure that's exactly what Bonecrusher Smith is going to be asking himself. Styles make fights. That has been said on so many occasions, and that was the case here tonight, only in this case Styles did not make a fight. And it was a dance in large part for 12 rounds. Tyson trying to do everything he could. Let's take another look at that action right at the end, and I'm sure Mike Tyson, the next time we talk to him, is going to say that was one of the hardest shots he's taken. It definitely backed him up. Here's another look at it. Smith coming from down around the shoe tops. What a wild swinging and holding. That was pretty much the story of the fight. Winging left hand as you look from our up top camera. And there's a look at a face that is going to smart come tomorrow. Take a look at the numbers from this fight. Tyson, of course, much more active and much more accurate. As Bonecrusher Smith with only a 23% accuracy, and of course a puncher is going to have a lower accuracy rate, but I don't think Bonecrusher or anybody else thought his would be quite that low, and I think it's strictly born of frustration. I think Mike Tyson just simply frustrated the man. Harold?
Hey, Barry, I saw Mike Tyson winning the fight by 16 points. I had it a shutout. Referee Mills Lane took away 2 points in the second round. He took away a point, and he took away a point in the 8th round from Bonecrusher for holding. But it was one-sided.
That's just about as one-sided a card as I've ever seen. Let's get the official verdict now from Chuck Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. Judge Lou Tabbitt scores 120, 106. Judge Jojo Guerra scores 119, 107. And Judge Dalby Shirley scores 119, 107. For the new WBA, WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
a popular verdict. At least the result was popular, not so much the way the result was attained. Larry Merchant trying to get his way over to the winner, and still the champion Mike Tyson, and he is with Mike Tyson right now. So let's go up to the ring and Larry Merchant. Larry, you got it.
All right, Mike, you are now the WBA, WBC champion, the only heavyweight champion now in the world. Do you feel satisfied after that fight?
Well, I feel good, but I don't feel satisfied. But as you know, he was just trying to survive. I thought he was going to come out there and try to beat me up, like he said.
So you're going to try to win, he said.
Could you tell very early in the fight that he couldn't hit you with any punches? He was frustrated and he was just going to hold on?
You know what else I noticed? When I threw my jab, I was hitting him with my jab and I was hurting him with my jab. But I feel like, you know, he didn't want to fight. He didn't want to win. He didn't want to win at all.
Was there anything you think you could have done to break him down? For example, you went to the body very, very rarely.
I know. It was one of those moves I saw. I had one of those guys that was just trying to throw one punch and catch me. And I knew guys like that would never hit me. And the last round, he hit me with a good shot. He was a hard puncher because I felt the punches in my arm and stuff. But like I said, I could take a good punch. And now I proved to everybody. In the last round, he threw a good punch, and I felt it, but I came right back.
After the first round and the second round, you had words. After the first round, you threw a punch at him. It's so uncharacteristic. Were you frustrated that early?
I wasn't frustrated, but inside, he kept trying to hold me, and he was trying to push his gloves in my face and fight dirty.
But you seem to lose your cool generally because of what seemed like frustration and not being able to do what Mike Tyson could do best.
Well, you know, this I thought was a good fight for me because most of these guys are going to fight me like this. You know, these are supposed to be the best heavyweights of my day. And, you know, they have no respect. They say I'm a young boy. I haven't fought anybody. Now, what can Bonecrusher say? Is he added to the list of the bums I fought? Then if I didn't knock him out, he fought like that makes him a bum too. Ask him if he a bum. He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to win. He didn't want to win.
You're a student of fight history. Have other heavyweight champions, could you recall, have had fights like this?
Dempsey, most of them. Dempsey when he fought the guy in Montana. No, it wasn't Michigan.
Gibbons.
A boring fight. Everybody else saw only the last round when Dempsey was looking great. It was a boring 15-round fight. Carpenter.
Can you find solace in that? Can you go on to the next fight? Everybody's going to say, well, maybe Mike Tyson isn't all that good.
Well, these things happen. But, you know, the thing that's more detrimental, when I go back in the gym and I go back home and leave the ring, I got to hear it from my trainer, and I'm waiting for it, and I know it's going to be murderous.
Well, Mike, you feel awful bad for a guy who did awful good and pitched a shutout and is the only heavyweight champion in the world. Barry?
All right, thank you very much, Larry Merchant. He does have a sense of humor, and he thinks he's going to hear it from Kevin Rooney when he gets home. Well, that, of course, from the school of Customato, who was his mentor. In fact, he said Customato wasn't only like a father to him, he was his backbone. Well, remember that little soiree that HBO started here not too long ago to finally unify the heavyweight championship? Well, what happened to the IBF champion, Michael Spinks? We'll give you an update right now on Spinks' status.
Michael Spinks entered the HBO Unification Series with his rematch with Larry Holmes when he won a controversial decision. According to the terms of his contract, he would receive stipulated sums of money for one title defense and then the ultimate unification fight against the WBA WBC champion. The title defense was against Stefan Tangstedt last September, when Spinks already was negotiating for a fight outside the tournament against Jerry Cooney. Such a fight was permitted in the agreement, providing that the winner would still agree to fight the WBA WBC champion. But Cooney rejected that stipulation. At that point, HBO got an injunction stopping a Spinks-Cooney fight. Last week, the plot thickened when Michael Spinks was stripped of his IBF title, officially because he refused to meet the #1 IBF contender, Tony Tucker. But in the Byzantine world of boxing and boxing contracts, nothing is quite that simple. Because Spinks then appealed the injunction on the grounds that he is no longer the IBF champion. HBO's counterclaim is that 1, the Spinks-Cooney contract was signed before the stripping, and 2, the commissioner of the IBF, Bob Lee, had said that he wouldn't have stripped Spinks had he gone through with his agreement to unify the title. The appeal will be heard this Monday.
Well, Larry Merchant, bottom line, what does it all mean?
Well, I think it's fair to say that just as soon as Mike Tyson came into this series to unify the heavyweight championship, that Michael Spinks started planning a polar expedition to get away from him. I'd have to say after all this that Michael Spinks probably is his biggest fan, because he stands to lose millions and millions of dollars. He would have made perhaps $5 to $7 or $8 million for fighting Tyson and for getting proceeds from some future fights of his and promotions. Instead, he'll get a couple or $3 million and have to deal with a bunch of damage suits. Just one other thing, Barry. Last fall, Michael Spinks started talking about the WBA and how they sanction fighters from South Africa. It was his way of protesting apartheid. Good enough. What he's doing now, however, is trying to bypass a black champion in order to fight a white pacifist.
All right, now let's go back to what we just saw in the ring tonight. Now you've seen the fight and you've talked to Mike Tyson. What are your thoughts on this evening's activities?
Well, what Mike Tyson said basically is true, that a lot of guys are going to come in there, find out they can't do anything with him, and just fight to survive, to live, rather than to win. And there's just no way of getting away from that. When he comes up against an athlete who will try to compete, an athlete who thinks he can win, he'll look good. It's like a major league hitter when he's in there against a wild pitcher throwing the ball all over the place he can't hit. When he gets against a good pitcher who feels like challenge him, all of a sudden he's a good major league hitter. There are only a few types of fighters who really can compete with Tyson. We thought a big puncher like Smith might. There are no big punchers out there that we know about. A boxer more likely will give Tyson a problem somewhere along the way. Or even more likely than that, the only fellow out there who can beat Tyson now, it appears, is Mike Tyson himself, if he gets tired of this whole thing, and I don't see that happening.
Well, I've always said there are only three things that Mike Tyson really has to deal with, and one was, can he beat a good puncher? And perhaps he did that tonight, even though he didn't really fight that style of fight. Can he beat a clever boxer? He hasn't really seen one yet. And can he survive when he does get hurt? And that, perhaps, might be the bottom line about Mike Tyson. Well, we want to remind you of another HBO program. Join us for a